Okay, so I bought this box, or this lot from Goodwill about a year ago, maybe like a year and a half ago. I can't even remember. So I wanted initially this to be an exercise of like, hey, I spent X amount, now it's worth Y amount. But unfortunately, there's no invoice. I can't find any information about when I purchased this box or how much I purchased it for. So that whole idea is completely out the window. So instead, I figured let's just open it, see what's inside, and hopefully, it's some good stuff. You know, there's a huge popularity with N64 games right now. The Analog 3D is coming out. I had already placed in my pre-order for it. And, you know, I think I saw some pretty cool games in this. So I was like, heck yeah, let's get this thing. So, oh, goodness. Oh my gosh. Let's see what is in the box. Again, I was kind of hoping it would be, hey, these games are now worth this much more money due to, you know, the sudden popularity of N64 games. But unfortunately, there was just no invoice whatsoever. So the first thing that popped out was a Gauntlet Legends manual. Super cool. Love this game. Played it a lot on PlayStation 1. Definitely a favorite. So, we'll see. I'm not 100% like knowledgeable of N64. I haven't read up. I haven't figured out the prices or anything like that. So I'm just going to go through the games. We've got the first one, Mischief Makers. Maybe I'll, you know, do some magical editing and show how much each of the games is worth. We've got the Golden Zelda Ocarina of Time Classic. This was actually the first Zelda game I've ever played. A Link to the Past was the first Zelda game I ever beat. We've got some Star Wars. That's super cool. Shadows of the Empire. I don't think I've ever played this game. So very, very interesting. There's where the manual goes to. The Gauntlet Legends. We'll see if we'll be able to get out some of this marker. This is Wegmans. I always thought that was a grocery store, but you know, could be a gaming center as well. It does look like it. Wegmans tamper-resistant seal. You know, that's something that you might see on a gas station. But I got the OG Super Smash Brothers. Used to play this all the time at my friend's house growing up. Super cool. I have Super Smash Brothers for GameCube. Got Melee. I got Brawl as well for the Wii. I recently modded my Wii U, so I don't actually have many Wii U games, but I do have it on the Wii U as well. And of course, Switch. Ah, yes, the classic Pokemon Stadium. Now, Stadium 2, I feel, was a little bit more robust, but the issue with the Stadium games is if you're a screen watcher, you could totally tell what your opponent is going to do. So being player one is a disadvantage. Very cool. Pokemon Stadium, always good to have in the collection. We've got another classic, Mario Kart 64. Remember playing this at like J.C. Penney's and Sears because I didn't actually own an N64. And my cousin was a bigger fan of Diddy Kong Racing. Let's see if that pops up. Next up, we've got Army Men Air Combat. Actually, I have played a lot of the Army Men series. I don't believe I played the Air Combat one, but just having little green figurines first-person shooter. Genius idea. It's tons of fun. Did I put this game back? No, actually, I own 2 copies of Pokemon Stadium. Very, very cool. I would prefer that one to be Pokemon Stadium 2, but having 2 of the same copy isn't going to be bad. So that's N64, that's Mario Kart 64, that's Army Men, Air Combat. What else do we got here, man? There is a whole lot. Oh, goodness. Look at this. Duke Nukem. Dude, I played... This was one of the first PC games that I had ever played. And I didn't own it. It was at my friend's house. Hail to the king, baby. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of gum. Very classic game. Loved the shrink gun. And the Bikini Babes, shrinking the Bikini Babes. That was the play. All right, next up, we've got Shadowgate 64 Trials of the Four Towers. I have no idea what this game is. I have never heard of it. I don't think... I don't really have anything to say about it, but we're going to add it to the collection. Thank you, Shadowgate 64. We'll see what's up. Oh, this is a very cool game. Gex 64. Again, I had the PlayStation. Me and my brother wanted to get Twisted Metal 3 or 4 or something like that. And we got our mom to drive us to Target. And she saw the rating label of being mature. And she's like, why don't we get another game? And we ended up getting, I think it was Gex 3, which was a very fun game. But I guess this is where it all started. So cool to have that added to the collection. And what is a Goodwill lot without some sort of sports game? Madden 99. Classic John Madden. Pretty much the face of football. These games are still going on. 16 years later? I actually own quite a lot of Madden games just because it was one of the more popular games that we enjoyed growing up. I don't think I've ever played it on the N64, so we'll see how that goes. All right, we're still going. Star Wars Episode 1, Battle for Naboo. Now, I don't think I played this one either. I was more into pod racing. This one kind of has eluded me as well. Very cool. I have a lot of different Star Wars games. Super Nintendo. If you haven't seen that, I think I'm going to go through and clean some of my Super Nintendo collection and add it to some nice little display cases just to kind of keep them protected. And we'll go through the Star Wars collection a little bit later. Next up, we've got Kirby 64 in the Crystal Shards. Now, I do believe this might be good. A lot of Kirby games do hold quite a lot of value. I do believe I have one Kirby game. I think it's Superstar Racing. Oh, excuse me if I got that wrong. I do have Kirby's Dream Land 3, but it's for the Game Boy. If I had that for Super Nintendo, I'd be flipping out. But this is very cool. I always have a lot of fun with the Kirby games. I grew up playing Kirby. He was like my second, or I guess my third, behind Donkey Kong and Mario. And speaking of racing games, I called it Diddy Kong Racing. This was definitely the superior racing game, at least in the sense of gameplays, you know, the amount of times we've played it. My cousin absolutely loved this game and preferred it over Mario Kart 64. So we played a lot of it. I loved the Donkey Kong games. I've got all the Donkey Kong countries. Even still playing some now with my nephew on the Switch. So very cool, very nostalgic. And speaking of pod racing, the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. This was a game that I played a lot more of when it comes to Star Wars 64 games. This was another game that was in like the JCPenney or the Sears or whatever when Mom was shopping. We'd hop over to the console station and just play the heck out of it. I was pretty bad at it, considering how young I was. But it would be cool to kind of revisit that and maybe get my brother along and show him, like, hey, do you remember this game? We've got another racing game here, Rally Challenge 2000, the black cart, a little bit dirty. Probably can imagine this is worth too much, but I always loved the different color cartridges for N64. So the more colors that we have, the better, in my opinion. Next up, we've got Battlezone: Rise of the Black. Was it dogs? Oh, dog. I thought you said doors. The Rise of the Black Doors. Rise of the Black Dogs. Very cool. Another colored one. So right now we've got 2 black, a gold, and a green. Very, very cool. We'll see what else we've got here. Any other random stuff? Okay. Wow. Quite a lot of Star Wars. Another one. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Now, I do believe I have played this one. I'm trying to think. Maybe if I saw like a little bit of gameplay. I know the Xbox, they kind of continued on with these games. We were actually going to play it, at least the Xbox version, a little while ago. So cool that we've got the OG. Now I know for sure this is probably not one of the best games, but definitely a game that is probably at the forefront of the collection. Again, I didn't do any real research. But Paper Mario, the OG. Very, very cool. They had just released the Switch last year. And now here we see this whole collection is from Wegmans Home Video. Wegmans. Come get some home videos with us. Movies make a great gift idea. Please be kind, rewind. Paper Mario, very cool. We got the resistance seals on the side. I would assume this is probably up there with the most priced ones here. Next up, hey, speaking of Gex 3, I actually have it for the N64 now. That's very cool. This was the first Gex game I ever played. I think I got really, really close to beating it and kind of just gave up because it was a single player game. I had a bunch of brothers. We like to play video games together, and we still do. So a lot of his single player games I haven't been able to finish. Might be able to revisit that sometime and beat it. And the games just keep coming. Here we go. Banjo-Kazooie. Now, I have played this game. Rare did a rewind on Xbox, and I have been able to play a decent amount of Banjo-Kazooie. I didn't really like the controls, but maybe that was just the Xbox port. It'll be fun. Very classic. Came out of nowhere. Rare. You know, they've got Donkey Kong. They've got so many different IPs now. Very cool to have that. And it's extremely clean, too. Like, good job keeping care of this. Not much dust or anything. All right. I was going to say, oh, we're getting towards the end, but we're really not. Cruisin' Exotica. Now, this was like an arcade game. Cruisin' USA. I do believe I've played at least one of the Cruisins. I think there's like 4 or 5 on the N64. But Midway, this is a game. I don't know if I've played this exact version, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And I guess to continue on and keep it going, we've got Banjo-Tooie, the sequel. That is awesome. A lot of really great combos here in this lot that I was not expecting. I mean, the 2 Pokemon stadiums, that's kind of funny. But a lot of combos of the Marios, Star Wars. Very surprising, very surprising. Here we go. Here's another game. Vigilant 8, Second Offense. I don't know if I played this exact version, but this was another game that I played on PlayStation. Kind of in the style of Twisted Metal, where you kind of go around, shoot missiles out of your car and try to blow other people up. I do believe my friend did have this, so I feel like I might have played it on N64 too, but I definitely know we played a lot of it, at least rented a lot of it when it came to PlayStation. Speaking, another double, we've got another copy of Mario Kart 64. So I'll just pass that along. We've got WWF. Imagine that, Stone Cold Steve Austin on the front. Warzone. Not sure if I've played this one. I love a lot of the old wrestling games, WCW. They were cartoony at times. Day of Reckoning, you know, probably one of the more popular ones. Day of Reckoning 2 on GameCube. Just, you know, some good old-fashioned wrestling. Yeah, a lot of fun. We'll definitely check this one out a little bit later. Ooh, here's a classic for the N64, Star Fox 64. I have played a lot of this game. I've beaten this game multiple ways. I've got the OG Star Fox on Super Nintendo. I've beaten that. This is just a classic. This is just one of those games that it was so good, you just kept on playing it. And because of that, and all of the different pathways to get to Andros, just complete classic. So much fun. Brings back a lot of really great memories. Now here's a game that I recognize, but I have absolutely never played, and that is Glover, the Glove Man. It's just called Glover 64. Yeah, very iconic. I remember seeing, you know, I don't know if it was like adverts or pictures or something like that. He's instantly recognizable, but I cannot say I've played a single minute of this game. I don't think I knew one person that owned Glover. But I do believe it's kind of like one of those, I mean, it might not even be that unknown, but definitely considered a cult classic, I assume. All right, next up we have Mega Man 64, which is a bummer because the label is kind of wrecked there. Definitely haven't played this game. I do have a couple of Mega Mans on the Super Nintendo, I believe. Game Boy, NES. 64, he doesn't have, Rockman's not wearing his helmet. Very interesting. So, I don't know much about it, unfortunately, so sorry about that. And I'm just gonna be sorry again because we've got, oh, I thought this was another Mega Man 64, sorry, so let me go through it. Next up we've got Bomberman Hero. Big fan of the Bomberman's great party games. Four bombers, 4 different corners, tons of bombing destruction, a lot of fun. And then we also have the Second Attack Bomberman. I'm gonna have a lot of cleaning up to do with these, hopefully, since it's a little bit older. They'll cooperate. All right, I kind of wish I knew what I was getting into so I could kind of finish on you know, something really good. So let's start off with one that I don't think will be all that popular. We've got NASCAR 2000. I have played a lot of NASCAR games. Surprisingly, PlayStation. I think I've played a couple on Dreamcast as well. There's also some NASCAR arcade cabinets that I've kind of played with. Or I guess racing sims. Very cool. Probably has like the classics, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt. You kind of figure out where I live now just by hearing a nerd talk about NASCAR. Next up we've got Turok 2, Seeds of Evil. Turok 1 I have played. I haven't played this one. Turok was definitely in rotation for GameCube. One of our favorites. Very cool game. Just being able to see and fight dinosaurs. Big fan. Jurassic Park. Went through those games. Check out my, I guess, long play of beating Jurassic Park if you're interested. But big fan of shooting at dinosaurs. Next up we have Forsaken 64. Abandon All Hope. Kind of eerie. I doubt it has any horror elements to it, really. Don't know anything about this game, so I'm just going to put that away. And we've got one last black cartridge, Rugrats in Paris, the movie. Imagine that. I don't think you were expecting that to come out of this collection. Big fan of Nickelodeon. It's something that I grew up with. I actually have some Chucky socks that have Santa babies on it. And I had a conversation over Christmas of who the Rugrats were, and having to explain that to my uncle. Very funny. So the last thing that we're going to end with, this is the last game, and this is probably the most iconic, Super Mario 64. I have played this game so many times, even though I never owned an N64. That's just how popular it was. But a very fitting way to end the unboxing. Now, I don't know how the heck I'm going to organize all of this. I would love to kind of get a full scene of all of the games in this box. Is crazy. I don't remember when I don't remember bidding on this item and realizing like this is 20 something 30 carts here. This is so cool. Big surprise. It's just been sitting around my apartment here for way too long. And it was a pretty big box, I mean, as you can see. So just having that thing fall over and stuff, fall on top of my leg, I'm ready to finally unbox it. So I think, the Paper Mario, this kind of looks interesting. Could be a little bit rare, but I would imagine maybe the Banjo, Tooie, Kazooie, that probably sticks up. I don't think Gex was popular enough. Maybe the Bombermans. Those are always sneaky when it comes to games. So yeah, I would say those are probably my guess. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you want to, because I love being corrected by people more knowledgeable than me. But let's get one last look at this. And I'll send you on your way. So we've got all of these games. Very, very cool. And obviously the Gauntlet Legends instruction manual. Well, that's it for me. Bucky is out of here. If you stayed this long, don't forget to like and subscribe, all that goodies. We've got a lot planned for 2025. Should be a pretty great year. A lot of conventions, a lot of sneaky fun ideas that we've got in the works. So stay tuned. Love you guys. Thanks for all the support. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.